You're listening to Legends Library. Now, here's your host, Lisa Mountain and Kyle Rollins.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Kyle.
And I'm Katherine.
And you are watching and listening to Legends Library. We are a podcast dedicated to the Legends line of the Star Wars books and the expanded universe. Today's episode, we have, I guess, Katherine back on the show. And we're here to talk more about LegendsCon. And, you know, we're coming down to the wire and it's just weeks away, guys. Like, I'm excited, obviously. But today we're here for kind of a special reason again, and it's to talk about a Kickstarter that we've started. So if Katherine, as our executive director, if you could talk a little bit more about that with us.
Yeah, well, let's kick off my visuals too.
Katherine's always prepared with a lovely slideshow.
Yes, so as Lisa said, we are getting really close. September 9th and 10th, it'll be here before we know it. Last time I was on, that was December, I'm pretty sure. So
we did
so
the
much
women's episode too.
That's true. Yes. Well, last time we extensively talked about the convention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much has changed since then. And everything is just chugging along really smoothly overall. We're having a lot of great guests. The planning of various events that are going to be happening it's all going very well. Ticket sales are going well. But we are doing a Kickstarter because we are a first year event. So funding is, it's hard to start that off. And we have more guests interested. We've had actually people coming to us and saying that they want to, coming to us saying that they want to come, and we want to say yes to them, but that's not fully in the budget for us, the way as much as we would like. So that is a large part of the reason that we're doing this Kickstarter. Another really important reason for the Kickstarter is that the ticket sales service that we use, it holds on to 20% of our sales until after the event, which is, each ticket service has its own little quirks and stuff, and this is just it's one. And if we'd gone with something else, it would have been some other thing, that would have been just as obnoxious and terrible.
Yeah.
But because of that, it's good to have money now rather than after the convention, because all of the bills are due before the convention for the most part. Like the 20% that's coming in after is not going to help us. Like everything that'll be. Most likely that will be donated straight to the Peter Mayhew Foundation, which is one of our other updates, is that we have a charitable partner now.
Yeah.
So one of the guidelines that we received from Lucasfilm Fan Relations for Star Wars fan events is that all proceeds have to go to a charitable cause. And we have chosen the Peter Mayhew Foundation. It was founded by the late Peter and Angie Mayhew. I've worked with them before through the costume club things. They help us out with stuff, and we help them out a lot with various charitable causes. They're a really great organization. They, I jokingly refer to them as like guerrilla charitable work, because they really, what they do best is coming in when somebody's having a crisis, typically within the Star Wars fan community, who is just like out of options, desperate, and come in and are able to financially solve the issue of, their kid needs this surgery or their kid needs this medical device, and they just can't afford it because that's the state of our healthcare system. And it's really important it was important to Peter and Angie because Peter, with his giantism, that is a very significant medical problem that requires a lot of support. And so it was something that was very personal to them. And Angie just passed away while we were in the process of working this out with the Peter Mayhew Foundation, and it's such a loss to our community. She was such a bright spark and so loving and giving, and just any time that somebody needed something, she would do her very best to make it happen. but the foundation is continuing like without her. Like will not be the end of it. The family that she built around it, and I don't mean, like legal, members of the family, but just like the people that she took under her wing, um, who are still working, still volunteers for the organization. Like they will keep it going and they will continue doing that work. So I'm really happy that we're able to donate our proceeds to them. But before we get to that point, we have to have a convention. Before we have a convention, we have to finish funding the convention.
Yep.
And the Kickstarter would help us a lot with that. One of the big payments that is coming due for us is July 14th. We owe the venue $10,000. And we're almost there in terms of having that money ready to spend. But the 3,000 would be really nice. Just to have buffer and all of that. Like the $3,000 is our goal for Kickstarter. And Kickstarter is all or nothing. So we have a little bit over $1,000 pledged as of now of recording. And if we don't reach 3,000 in the next 10 days as of the time of recording, I'm not sure exactly when this will be posted, we don't get anything. And nobody gets charged, so it's not like the money just goes to Kickstarter. Like your card won't get charged, but we won't get anything either. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's why we're coming to you, listeners and watchers. We just need that little bit of extra help right now to keep Legends going and to help us get going. So
again, you mentioned the stress on the event is definitely catching traction, but to be able to say yes to new guests, which I don't want to even get people excited for until we can. But this would be the funding that we would be like, all right, well, it's in the bank. We're ready. We're set to go. And we can draw up that contract.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, it's exactly that. And even if you can't make it to LegendsCon, I'd really encourage you to consider donating because, well, for one reason, we are planning to record all of the panels and we will post them online. So you will have some benefits yourself personally, but also just if you believe in the fandom, if you want the fandom to have a place to continue to grow and new things to be created and new people to come in and feel welcomed, and just for there to be a space like this, like there hasn't been a in-person space for Legends fans. Like Celebration, I go to Celebration every time that I can and it's great, but it really like the amount of things there that are like specifically for Legends has really decreased, which understandably, like we won't go into it.
I was going to say it's very Jedi like to like erase things, so
Excuse me? All right, we're not going to get into that either. No, that would be the Sith, but okay.
No, they're the ones who built over a dark side temple.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to start this here. Yeah. But anyways,
Sith laughters.
Yeah, so we have a fantastic list of guests all.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And more to come. We have one more that I'm like, oh, can we say it yet? Like,
no, we can't say it yet.
Wow.
It has the contract has not been signed yet. We don't say things until contracts are signed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have two really big names so far. This third one that Lisa's wanting to say that will be like on the same par as his other two, which are Matthew Stover and Randy Stradley. I am so excited to meet them. I've worked with Matthew Stover before. I've interviewed him online at one point. I'm really excited to meet him in person.
Yeah.
Randy, he reached out to us, which was fantastic. He, as you know, co-founder of Dark Horse Comics. I love all of like everything that Dark Horse did. Like that is some of my favorite parts of the expanded universe.
Yeah.
So really excited for the two of them.
I'm excited for everyone. They're all like big people of fame.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of a chat afterwards, but for listeners, the graphic on screen right now. So we have Abel Fina, Karina Bechko, Matthew Stover, Randy Stradley, Barbara Hambley, and Sean Stewart. We are missing Craig Miller, who we just announced as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the graphic has not been updated in the last week,
Yeah.
but
And who was Craig Miller for all the listeners?
yes, so Craig Miller is the original director of fan relations at Lucasfilm. And so I have been talking to like the third or fourth iteration of him in Pete Vilmer, who is currently in charge, who is the one who, you know, gave us these guidelines and told us how to, you know, be able to do a Star Wars fan event without getting a cease and desist, which I really appreciate. I've worked with him before quite a bit on events that I've done within the costume organizations. So Craig Miller was the original director for fan relations. He wrote the Bantha Tracks columns for like the first 2 years that was in existence. He ran the Star Wars fan club thing. And what I find fascinating personally is he is the one who got the archive going for Star Wars zines. If you're not familiar with what a zine is or a zine, it's pronounced both ways, I've heard. This is a little bit of a pre-internet fandom thing, but they still definitely are around today. It is like a fan-made magazine, basically. That's where the shortened zine or zine comes from. It would have people writing both like fiction, nonfiction, art, speculation of, you know, future movies. It's just a really like fascinating, like each is a very fast, like to me is a really interesting piece of fandom history. And he got things going to start an archive of these at Lucasfilm. And then around like the time of the prequels, like as the popularity like shot upwards, it became overwhelming. And the archive moved around a little bit. It's currently at the University of Iowa. They have a special collections of that's entirely fanzines. And that is sponsored by the Organization for Transformative Works, which is like the main source of just hosting a place for transformative works, like fanzines. So it's, you know, I'm curious to talk to Craig about, you know, like if he ever thought that, you know, this thing that he was starting would end up as part of a, you know, university library collection. But it's something that I'm passionate about, of like, you know, preserving fandom history, because I just really believe that what fans create is something that's really special. So I want to go.
Unique. Yeah, and it's unique to our brand in particular because George was so passionate about celebrating it.
No, it's I was talking to some friends about it when we were, you know, talking about Craig Miller, and they were saying, you know, like that would be so wild, like today, if some like media company was like, yeah, send us your fanzines, like just like the absolute like chaos and like fires that would break out. But you know, like it's something that I think is very on brand for Lucas as well. Like the museum that he's building, the Lucas Museum that's being built right now in San Francisco, it's about like narrative art, and a lot of it is sort of that stuff that is considered more like lowbrow, or like, you know, unimportant kind of stuff that greater society doesn't necessarily deem worth preserving. But I find it fascinating. So yeah, sometime I want to go out to University of Iowa and like, you know, pick through their collection. They're working on digitizing it, but you know, that's obviously going to take a long time. But just kind of, you know, peel back the layers and see what the fandom was up to in 1981 or whatever. So yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, but yes, we should talk about the other guests as well. Lisa, do you want to pick one and talk about them?
Well, I thought we could go a little bit more about them towards the end after we talk a bit more about the Kickstarter, because I want to talk a lot about Evil Penis, and I know Kyle does too.
All right, then we will move on. So for our Kickstarter, we have 5 tiers of rewards, and then we have a couple special things as well. So for $15, we will send you 3 stickers, anywhere in the world.
Rogue Pilot. I like the names.
We came up with, IP friendly names for each of these tiers. So yes,
Yeah.
Rogue Pilot, $15, 3 stickers. I can tell you what the stickers are even. We're not like, posting them online because of IP stuff, but one of them is going to be of baby Ayla Sakura and Padawan Quinlan Voss, inspired by that one comic that is just the cutest thing to ever exist in Star Wars when like he rescues her from the Wampa and they're just both stupid cute. And then a second sticker will be of the art that we've been using frequently of Revan and Mara back to back, that is based on 2 of the cosplayers from our photo shoot. Because that was one of the other things we got from Lucasfilm was that the characters should be fans in costume rather than the characters themselves. And so it's like, how do we indicate that, graphically? So our art team,
I was
led
going to say
by
who it was, but you got it.
Arakel, he of Punch It Chewy Press, he did the art for this, and like it's crazy to me to look at this. Like I look at the Mara and I see Alice, the cosplayer, like her face is so clear in it. So it's a really great rendition.
And they will be a vendor at LegendsCon as well.
Yes, they will. Yes, they make fantastic pins, and they have a couple different lines of Legends ones. They have a New Jedi Order line, and they have a KOTOR line, and then they have like scattered different ones like Kyle Katarn and Thrawn and more that I'm just not, Dash Rendar. It's a bunch. Like they're hardcore fans and they make wonderful things. But yes, so that is our lowest tier, $15, Rogue Pilot, 3 stickers. The third sticker will be one of our logo stickers. At the $30 level, you'll get the 3 stickers. That's Prodigal Knight, so Revan. You get the 3 stickers, and then also you will be receiving a art print. That art print will be New Jedi Order era. So we're kind of splitting up the various eras through this so that you get a little bit of everything on the tiers. And then the next tier up is Grand Admiral, Thrawn, obviously. That is $50, and you would receive the 3 stickers, the art print, and then also a lanyard for the convention that will have LegendsCon branding on it, and then also the Revan and Mara art. So where else are you going to get a Revan and Mara lanyard that you can use all the time? So
doesn't exist.
Definitely, it doesn't exist.
For all you collectors out there.
Yes.
Smooth.
The first Legends event ever. Maybe this is your time to capitalize. Maybe.
Seriously.
Just saying.
Yep. And then the next tier up, the 4th tier, Sword of the Order. Jaina Solo would be the who that's named after. That is at $70. So you get the stickers, the print, the lanyard. And then I'm really excited for this pencil pouch. As of now, Arakel is doing the art for it. It's going to be KOTOR themed. I say as of now because he's getting married really soon. So like we think most likely he will be doing it. I will not like for sure say that because he could get busy with wedding things. But it's in progress. It should be done. Like 95% certainty he will be the one doing the art. So it's going to be fantastic. And it's going to be KOTOR themed. So that's going to be really cool. It says pencil pouch, but it's a zipper pouch. You can use it for whatever. I typically use pouches of that size for my lightsaber parts. For cosplay things, I need some more store. Like batteries and
how incredibly practical.
There's a lot of little fiddly bits that come with lightsabers. And it's
lightsaber parts, IDs, wallets,
coin purse, whatever. So definitely that's gonna be really cool. And then our top tier, $100, Emperor's Hand, Mara Jade, of course, she's the best. that
I wonder
will
who
be,
did these categories.
I
Like,
know. I wonder who
Yeah,
did
I
these
wonder who
categories.
came up with all this
And
stuff.
yeah, what bias? Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of like light side users in here.
We split it up. We have the Grand Admiral, we have Thrawn, and then
He's still a
like,
good guy though. Like,
I mean,
We don't have
not
time.
really.
I know.
Anyways, we don't have
I'm
time for
sorry.
this.
I'm
Moving
sorry.
along.
I'm
We don't have time for
this.
Anyways, $100 level, you get the stickers, you get the art print, you get the lanyard, you get the pencil pouch or lightsaber pouch or whatever you want to use it for pouch, and you will get a t-shirt that will be exclusive to the Kickstarter backers and those of us who have been planning the convention. So really, it's like you get the event organizer's shirt, really, like the number of people who will be having this who are out. Like there will be more of us on the planning committee.
Say that again, Catherine, because there's how many of us on our panel? A dozen
like,
at most.
Yeah. Like
at
there's
most,
like 12 of us. Yeah. So
so besides us, if y'all want this T-shirt, this is the time, collectors. Just saying. Just there's no other way to get it. We're only going to make a limit of whatever we get from here. So.
Yeah. So this will be a very exclusive shirt. It's the front of it is our logo, and the back of it it says it's in like the opening crawl style thing.
Oh, fun.
And it says something about like coming to your galaxy September 9th and 10th 2023, Burbank, California, something like that on the back, based off of like the initial like teasers for A New Hope, that it was the coming to your galaxy blah blah blah. So it's fun. And yeah, it'll be really great. And then on top of that, there are a couple of a la carte rewards as well. For people who are, if you have money to spend, for $500 you can name one of the panel rooms at our event. And there's some limitations on that, like it has to be family friendly. Yeah, it can't be dirty. It needs to be in universe, so it can't be, like your name's panel room. And of course, like it needs to, it can't be like, in addition to it not being your name, it also can't be like your podcast or whatever. And that comes from one of the things from Lucasfilm, is that we can't have sponsorship that is not of people who are already like affiliated with Lucasfilm. So as much as we would love to be able to have it be like your podcast stage, we can't do that. But like you could come up with, like I don't know, like something like because each panel room is going to be different. We have one that's going to have audiovisual setup, one that's going to be the stage for the costume contest and the fashion show and performances, and then the smaller one is going to be kind of like the community one, where our like fan panels are going to be mostly there. And there's also a quiet room as well, that is also up for naming. So yeah, like you could name the quiet room the Room of 1,000 Fountains if you're not like Lisa who hates Jedi. So
I'm not against Jedi. Most of them become Sith anyways.
There's so many things here that like if we had the time, but we don't because I'm busy. So yeah.
I raise my glass to myself.
All right. Anyways. So if you have the money to spend and want to leave a mark on this convention, get a say in what we name one of the panel rooms with quiet rooms, definitely check that out. That'll be a lot of fun. So
feel free to contact us either way for that.
Yes.
Then there's a random amount too. So like if you can't do 15, like you can enter like what's the minimum, $1?
Yeah, it's something like that. I think. Yeah, like you can put however much you want. Actually, the minimum is $1. I know because somebody did put $1. There's some like fund that goes around and gives everybody $1, which is really nice of them.
Yeah.
So
give up that
going
cup
on
of
that
coffee.
train too.
Yeah.
There, I've seen some misconceptions out there. Again, you've said it already, Catherine. None of this money is going to Disney. It's all going straight to our charity. organizations that we chose, which is right the
Peter Mayhew Foundation.
Yeah. So if there's any misconceptions about any of this, please do not think that it's going to those sources. It is indeed going to charity.
Yeah, and we're all volunteers here as well, obviously. So, and we're just big fans who love it, and that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, we're not making money off of this. This is coming from just a desire to create the space for the fandom. And I just want to make something and enjoy it. And everything will go to the Peter Mayhew Foundation. And they're such a great organization. Like the lives that they touch, like they really just they swoop in and save the day when people have no options left to handle like this horrible traumatic thing that's happened in their lives. So they're really great.
Oh yeah. Continuing on though.
Yes. So you can find our Kickstarter. You can just Google Kickstarter LegendsCon and it should come up. But the full URL will be www.kickstarter.com/projects/legendscon/event 2023. Yes.
We'll include it in the link to the video below.
Yes. Yeah, I'll post it. Yeah. Well, thank you, Katherine.
Yes. And yeah, those of you who are joining us, visually for this, we have some of the photos from our photo shoot, which have been, that was so much fun. We did that in January, in order to get, images to advertise with. And those of you who follow us on our socials have been seeing them since January pretty much. But it's really like just such a small taste of what there is to come with the event. Like we had 13 cosplayers for that, which was that was like the absolute maximum that we could handle for like a one-day photo shoot kind of thing. Because it was like we were pretty much like sun up to sundown. Like as soon as the hours hit like usable for photography to the point that like dusk where we got some cool like lightsaber lit shots, but like we full time. And yeah, there's gonna be so many like really talented cosplayers coming who are excited to like pull these out. There's somebody who I can't name, but I've been talking to somebody who like was in the fandom doing cosplay things and whatnot before going professionally, and she's going to be one of our judges for the costume contest, and she's just like, oh, I'm gonna like break out my old costumes, like I'm gonna blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, I'm so excited to see it, and like the work that she did with Lucasfilm was obviously like 15-20 years ago, and just like her career has shot forward since then, and I'm just really excited. We're gonna have so many really talented people coming out for this.
Think about that, everyone, too. It's an expanded universe fashion show. In particular.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, Lisa, why don't you talk about the expanded universe fashion show?
Yeah. So we've officially launched it, guys, and we're asking for anyone who has a love of designing and love of Legends and expanded universe to create kind of your own fashion, and then showcase it and potentially win a prize. And the prizes would be like $250 plus swag, and then a pass to the party. You don't have to necessarily be the model in the show. You can bring your own model as well. But yeah, we're encouraging people just to like really show off their love of Legend, and obviously stay within spirit of the con as well. So the applications are now open. You have until August 7th to get that application put in if you want to come.
Yes, August 7th. Yes.
I was like, no, yeah, right?
Yeah, so for a second I like flipped that with the costume contest in my mind, and I was gonna be like, wait, no, yes, you're right.
And then
I'm sorry.
The plan is I'm hosting, and then my plan is I wasn't going to show this in the video, but I may as well, to bring my little guests along too. And if anyone could see what this is, hello, I'm Deathy McDeathface. Hi. It's my Death Star puppet. Who goes with my Darth Vader outfit. Yes. And I scare children in it. It's really funny.
Oh no. Well, so the the Darth Vader costumers also, like, it's there's this very like dark joke that goes around of just like the troop's not over until Vader makes a child cry, like, 'cause
Yeah.
it happens, like,
There was a lot of
yeah,
them. They saw me on the weekend and they would just like shift sideways and like wouldn't keep their eyes off me. They're just like, yeah, I see
yeah,
you and I'm going this way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
uh,
awesome. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
yes. So please donate. Please help us make this event, even better. The more money that we have up front,
Yeah.
the more that we can do things with it. Like, a lot of people our ticket sales are doing really well. But we know just from past experience of events, people don't like buy tickets months in advance. From like the majority of people do not purchase tickets months in advance. And I get it, because you're not sure if you're going to make it or not, blah, 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 those kinds of things. But for things like bringing in guests, we have to know, like what our budget is going to be. We can't be bringing people in, from the other side of the country at,
Yeah.
like a month before the event. We're like, hey, like we definitely have tons of money. Let's do this. That it
Yeah.
doesn't work like that. They have their own schedules. So this Kickstarter, we're really hoping that it completes and we get the money from it. So we're able to bring in some more guests who have, reached out to us and want to come, and, we want to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it's expensive. And this, for those of you who are looking at this visually, this slide kind of breaks down like what different donation amounts do for us. And for somebody who's coming in from out of town, it's roughly $1,000 for airfare and 3 nights at the hotel. And then, we're providing them with food and, etc.
Security.
Yeah, like it's we're treating our guests well. Like that's really, we don't want to be putting people on, like horrible airlines, whatnot, like that's not how
Yeah.
you run a good event. We want to, respect these authors and artists, etc. So to do that though, that takes money.
Yeah. Show them the love that they
And
deserve, for sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
So please donate. Please help us,
Yeah.
bring more people in. And, if we have excess funding, like in addition to just going to the charity, that'll also allow us to, make the experience for these authors that we love so much better. Buy them nice things. So yeah, please donate. It really, it'll come back to the community, and it goes to the authors that you care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just a little sneak preview for the those of you who are looking at this visually. We have a mostly final draft of the exhibit hall. I actually I was just at the convention center yesterday.
Oh, you actually got
Because yeah, so for my day job is I work on Mars rovers. And I needed to go to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena to get fingerprinted for updated security clearance, blah blah blah.
for NASA,
And yeah, for NASA, yes. And yeah, I had to pick somebody for like the feds to contact to like interview about me or whatever, and it's just like, okay, which of my Star Wars friends is the least weird, like for the
well, you didn't ask us
to talk
so.
to? Well, it has to be somebody who knows me like in person, like who lived near me. Yeah.
Sure, that's
so
what
it was
is.
like yeah. I ended up asking, I did actually ask. I talked to, it was somebody else locally who is working on LegendsCon, and it was after thinking about it and deciding against somebody else locally who works on LegendsCon because of the time that he spent in Russia. I was kind of like, it might just be more problems than solutions to have them talk to him, because if they start looking at his background, there's gonna be questions. And
that's
so
really funny.
No. Yes. But anyways, I did not know, because like obviously like, this was like my institution was paying for this trip. Like I did not really have time to like go, go into the venue, but I was coming in and out of the Burbank airport. So I basically just like ran around the building twice pretty much and like looked in all the windows and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful venue. Like it's exactly what it looks like, on the pictures online, which is always good because sometimes it's not like that.
Yeah.
But
Catfishing
yeah,
hotel.
it's the lobby area. I couldn't see into the exhibit hall, but I could see all of the lobby area, as well as the courtyard that the party is going to be in, and
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
going to be awesome. Yeah, there's like it's very pretty. They have they've like gotten the plants to wind over some like arch type things there, so
Okay.
that's gonna be a cool place for photos in costume or your Star Wars fashion, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful venue. It's gonna be great. The lobbies that I could see, there's definitely room for like we knew mathematically there was room for these booths and tables and whatnot, but still like it's good to look at it and be like, yes, these things will fit in that space. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I know that a lot of fans were very curious to see what the layout was going to be and what to expect. So thank you for providing that, Katherine.
Yeah, and it could still like things could still change a little bit, just based off of like what types of spaces, like with if we get more vendors who want one type of space versus another type of space, we might reorganize things to try to shuffle around to make more of that type of booth than this other type of booth or whatever. Which, speaking of which, if you make awesome Star Wars things, or you have Star Wars collectibles to sell, or you have Star Wars books and comics to sell,
or film,
vendor, or August 1st is the deadline for vendors. That is a pretty hard deadline because there's paperwork that we have to turn into the city of Burbank. So yes, check that out on our website. It'll be a lot of fun. This is a very niche audience. This, while this is a smaller event, everybody who's coming is gonna be hungry for any kind of like Legends stuff that you have. Everybody who walks by is going to be your target audience, as opposed to an event that is more generic, where you'll get more people walking past your booth, but they will not necessarily be interested in what you have to sell.
Yeah. And if you aren't a vendor, guys, but you have friends or family that are vendors, please, recommend them, get them to reach out to us, and we can get them set up with a booth as well.
Yeah. We want that community involvement. We're not really concerned about how big your business is or what have you. It's more just like, please be there if you actually care about this community.
Yeah.
And outside of vendors as well, we have actually, let me go to the next slide. Important dates. So yes, June 26th, end of our Kickstarter campaign. Please donate, because again, if we don't reach the $3,000 goal, we get nothing, which also, your card doesn't get charged, you don't lose anything, but we don't get anything. So that would be a huge bummer, because that would lead to us, that would kind of be the end of the guests.
There would be no more guests, unfortunately. No more guests if we don't make the Kickstarter. Not much. We have a couple to announce. But
there's a couple who are in progress who, like, that funding has been earmarked for them already, and that's cool, and like there's a few more people who are local who, like they would be able to just, drive back and forth. They wouldn't need to stay in the hotel. But that would be the end of guests coming from outside of driving distance. So please support that. June 26th. Thank you. After that, July 1st is going to be the last day for media badge applications. We've already hit the like preferred deadlines, or like the priority deadline for that. If you are a journalist or a content creator, you write for any of like the Star Wars fan sites, Fantha Tracks, Utini, Tashi Station, Rebel Scum, Force.net, Jedi News, etc. You can get a free badge to come cover our convention. And there's a little bit of like pre-coverage as well that is in exchange for the badge. But if you do that, definitely check that out. That's on our website. July 17th, we are closing the applications for our fan film festival. This is going to be a lot of fun. any fan films that feature expanded universe characters, eras, or settings. The film does not have to be completed when you submit your application. We're going to be doing a check-in August 1st, and then everything will be due September 1st.
Yeah.
But just that we have an idea of what's, how long this is going to be
Yeah.
for our planning process. July 17th is the cutoff date for that.
Yeah. And what's important about this, guys, is you don't actually have to come to the con to have your film featured. So if you're somewhere in Germany or in Australia, because we have listeners there, like, submit your film and we'll still feature it. And, that'll be in the footage that we show as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
With your permission. We're going to have to ask each individual filmmaker, for us posting it on our own web things after that. But anyways, yes. And then July 31st is going to be when we close our costume contest applications. Please get that in. That'll be super fun. It'll be a super fun show, just everybody bringing out, their creations that are more obscure that, like a mainstream costume contest might not really understand. So that'll be a lot of fun. August 1st is our vendor application deadline, as we talked about before. August 7th is the fashion show application deadline. And then August 8th is like the absolutely hard deadline for fan panel applications, because after that we're going to be finalizing our schedule with the professional panels that we're already talking to guests about, pairing them up for professional panels. There's going to be some really fun stuff. Yes. So just please donate to our Kickstarter so that we can do more awesome stuff, so that we can bring in more guests, we can plan more cool things, and even if you can't make it, just donate because you want the fandom to have nice things.
Yes, all the expanded universe fans who feel that there hasn't been much out there for you, even if you can't make it, if you want to make history happen, now's the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. All right. Well, did we want to go back and talk about guests for a little bit?
We've got 10 minutes for guest talk. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to really talk about a few of them, obviously. Abel Pina is one I'm really excited for, and I know Kyle's excited for. And
yes. He does not make that many appearances at all. I think that's the easiest way to say that. He does not.
And of course,
appearances.
And his work is just so important. He's done a lot of history of history of Mandalorians, history of Sith, talks about Darzana. He's the reason Xana's named Xana or Darzana, Lone Wolf and the tale of Obi-Wan and Luke. And I'm currently reading Skywalkers, and we're going to be covering that pretty soon on the show. I actually chatted with Abel the other day. He messaged me apologizing how long it to get back to me. And he did say if anyone has questions, shoot him an email and we'll discuss it on the next show when we cover Skywalkers. And he's really excited that we're covering that as well. And it was funny when he was writing, he's like, "Hey, have you heard about LegendsCon? And maybe you should come and we can chat there." And I was like, "By the way."
We might know something about that. Legends Library is Lisa's a board member. I'm a co-owner, board member. We've had Katherine on here several times.
I'm we know who you are, Abel. We're following.
A little bit.
We know what you're doing. So and
so he's going to be incredible.
Right? I'm so excited for him.
So excited. And another one who doesn't come out much.
I was just going to say, I was exactly going to say Sean Stewart. This will be his first appearance at a con.
It will be his first appearance at a convention. I will say, in my discussions with him, he's really not sure that people are really going to be he does not realize how popular his book is.
It's a cult classic.
Yes. It's not, because he's never done an event before.
Right. So make sure everyone brings extra copies of Dark Rendezvous.
I
was talking to some of the other planning people, and I was just like, he's gonna get molasses mobbed. That's the term for it, when it's not like you are, people are tripping over themselves and there's a huge swarm, but it's just as overwhelming because it's a steady stream that never stops. molasses mob is what I call it. And like, that's
Okay.
what's gonna happen. And like, it's just like, I'm so excited for him to get to like experience the love this community has.
Yeah.
So yeah, because he hasn't done a convention before, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited that we get to have this be his first one, and looping it back around to the Kickstarter, give us more money so that we can buy the guests, like because we're doing their meals and stuff like that, and the more money that we have, the nicer of a place that we can take them to.
Yeah.
So yes, please donate to help make this a fantastic first convention for Sean, and for everyone else. And also, bring your dark rendezvous and, show up, and show him just how much we love him, because he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
know.
doesn't.
And
speaking of other guests who do not make too many appearances, Miss Barbara Hambly. It's going to be quite the exciting guest, in my opinion. I think that she has written some of again cult classics.
Yeah.
Love them or hate them. Her books are incredibly are valuable to the lore.
She does a lot of just really interesting randomness that, I was writing some notes about her today, and I'm like, Callista Ming, she's still that character. It's like, how, why, like stranded in,
people are still left.
Yeah, like she's still
figuring it all out.
Outside of Star Wars too, like it wasn't until I was doing some research on her as well before we invited her, and I was just like, whoa, like she, like she's been in charge of all of these like science fiction writer.
Yeah, she's a professor as well.
Yes,
she is a professor. Yeah. So it's really, I'm glad we found her. How we managed to get a hold of her was we were following like all of the Legends authors on our social media. Yes, and she posted something about like being at this vintage paperback show that was in the Los Angeles area, and so I was just like, and so like I went and like found her there, which is also how the most recent guest I also had to one of my friends who's an author had to physically introduce me to him.
You could say which author introduced you at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably like it's not a Legends author.
It's fine. I think it's fine. She's Canadian. Yeah. So I give the blessing.
Yes, she's Canadian. Yes. E.K. Johnston of the Ahsoka novel and the Padme trilogy, as well as like really awesome like her own original fiction and fantasy, like sci-fi and fantasy books. She's a friend of mine. And yeah, she like has been like cheering me on from the sidelines of this, and because like it's not relevant to her work, but still we're buddies. So but yeah, she made the introduction for somebody who is not online for us to be able to contact. So that was really awesome, and it's gonna be great. Who it is we're bringing back.
It's a person we have covered before on the show, and I'm excited. So
yes,
and I can't say more because I'm not allowed.
Yes.
Yep. And we only have so little time.
We'll get that contract signed soon enough.
Yes. Because of the time here, we're gonna move it along here to Miss Karina.
Yes. Yes. Karina Butchko, super excited for her as well. She did the Legacy comics, the volume 2 of that about Ania Solo. And
the end of the lore.
I feel like she got the short end of the stick just because of like she published her stuff and then like decanonization was like immediate after that. So like she didn't really get the whole
Star Wars. She didn't get to do e-novellas and stuff.
We owe her a great credit for at least trying to wrap it up somehow, because volume 2 was so short. And she somehow found a way to at least put a tail and bow on the whole thing. It wasn't for everybody, but nobody else had that opportunity, and she definitely did that for the community. So I think that she is one of those people who needs a lot more credit than she commonly gets.
Absolutely. If you go to her page on Wikipedia, it's
nothing.
There's like a sentence, and I'm like, really, like come on, guys. So
her team had the most pressure to perform.
She came up with bases loaded, and she hit the ball. Like I'd say she hit a home run. Other people might disagree, but like it's like so much pressure. And she nailed it in my opinion.
And the plan is too as well, guys. There will be a Women of Legends panel, so she will be there, and Barbara will be there as well. So
but we haven't
I mean,
we haven't totally finalized who's on the panel yet. But
I
like,
can
yes,
cut that out.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably agree to it, but yeah, we should get that like finalized first.
Right.
But
and then,
yeah,
so
like
and Matthew
it'll
Stover
be,
too.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of really great panels. We're probably going to do a like Clone Wars era one with Matthew Stover and Sean Stewart and somebody else who's still in the works. And I can't even say what the other eras are because that would tell you would probably tell you who the other guests are.
It would give it away.
Yeah. But it's just there's going to be so many good panels.
Yeah.
And we've also
so excited for Matthew.
We've had some volunteering of, and again, this is like, I'm not gonna like fully say it because it hasn't been totally set in stone yet, but there's also been some volunteering of like these creators wanting to give time for workshops for young creators or people who are trying to break into the industry. So this is a really fantastic time. I was just talking to Ryan about how like if like once this is set in stone, it would be worth our while to, like just email the creative writing or, whatever departments of local universities, because the day ticket is $50, like $50 for a professional writing workshop.
Yeah.
Like that's
of a Star Wars author. Like
yeah, like that's absolutely nothing. So we, might bring in people that way too. But yeah, it's just there's gonna be so many, this is gonna be such a wonderful fan-driven event. Please donate to help us, make it even better. And again, even if you can't make it, please think about it just to support the community, support something that you believe in creating these spaces.
Yeah.
So we can bring more people like Matthew Stover to the table.
Yes.
Who wrote some of the most beloved titles
Traitor,
in the lore.
Revenge of the Sith. That's crazy. He wrote Traitor. That was his first book into Star Wars, and
arguably the most impactful book of the entire New Jedi Order.
Yes, Jason as a traitor.
He almost didn't do it. Like he was like, this was when I interviewed him online for a webathon event. Like he was kind of hemming and hawing about taking Star Wars, and one of the other authors was just like, "Are you crazy, man? Like, you gotta do it." Like,
touch the frog. Yeah.
Yep. And his novelization of Revenge of the Sith is, I would say, probably the most favored of all of the adaptations by this point. Nothing against you, anybody. But
and there's a very fun story about that because George Lucas line edited that, and there were some like things were rejected very late in the game, and I will let him tell that story of what that led to. But
which you can all see live if you're at the convention.
Yes, like the whole metaphor of like the dragon and the star as Anakin's falling to the dark side.
Yeah,
that was written in a very short period of time after Lucas said, "You're wrong about the way that you're writing the dark side." Yeah, so it really, it's a great story. Come see him tell it live.
My favorite moment is when, and I put it in the newsletter, is when C-3PO asks R2 if like what he's saying is true. Like, did the Jedi attack, and like did they go after Palpatine? And then R2's like, I don't know. Anakin doesn't talk to me anymore. And just like, just stab me in the heart. Like, like R2.
It's so sad.
You were best friends, and now Anakin doesn't care. Like,
yes. So Stover has that magic within him to understand the verse, much like our final guest that we have, at least that we can talk about here, Mr. Randy Stradley, who again we talked about him earlier, but he is the man, the legend. Multiple decades of overseeing perhaps the one of the I'm trying to find those words as far as just like a lineage. The Dark Horse series
Empire,
as a whole,
where
Empire, they made history
Dark Times.
beyond the franchise, and to be able to keep it together with Del Rey and everything else for all those decades, and really trying to. I mean, he is the reason, one of the central reasons that we have an expanded universe that is reliable. That any point that you pick up in the stories, well, somebody took the care to make sure that everything matched up to the best that they could. so he is solely responsible for having a cohesive universe, at least in the comic book realm of things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will forgive
And
him for one thing. He wrote a comic about Commander Cody, who I hate. So I'll forgive him for that.
Oh yeah. Not everything was awesome, but and he gave us Crimson
It's not that I
Empire.
hate the comic, it's just I hate Cody.
but seriously, he was detrimental. Or I'm sorry, not detrimental. That's the wrong word. You know what I mean? He was imperative.
Fundamental.
He was
Yeah.
imperative force in our community.
Yes.
And the fact that he wanted to do this, we know that he was not necessarily thrilled about the license turning over to other competitors, but it's because I think he was truly in touch with the spirit of all that is here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
all these people,
he'll have a table at the
yes, he will.
like some
So
of the authors, they they want to be able to walk around and stuff and not be tied down, so they'll
right,
be doing like signings at set times. Randy, he will
right.
have a table the whole time. Go meet him,
So
talk to him. It'll be great.
all of these Legends fans who there's so much stuff that you can get from the internet, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
if you want to be present while they talk about their experiences working within Lucasfilm, you're going to get insight that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
So come be a part of it.
Yeah. And
all of our folk who were part of what we love. I mean, let's be real too. We're aging, so if you want to come and be a part of it before it's all over one day,
yeah.
Before these people like really stop doing anything
Or pass
like
away.
this.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Pass,
yeah, I mean, like
it's just
when we were starting the organization of this event, and I was making a list of where all these people live, like there's been people that I have through the course of playing this, I have scratched their name off the list because they died. Like it just
right.
Yeah.
Right. So let's make it happen now.
Yeah. Yeah. And listeners, I know we have listeners in California and we have listeners in Texas, and I'm assuming it's not far to drive or fly. So come hang out and party, and I'll drink terrible American beer. Sorry.
That's how to get them in. Yeah, call the beer terror.
There's other things.
It's the Sith
you're gonna love all the vegan food that's Burbank has to offer you.
We'll see.
Yeah. Plus, consider that too. I know that when people say that it's a whole lot, it's I understand, but if you're flying in, you are at the airport, you are at the convention.
Yes.
If you choose to, you can you don't really have to worry about renting a car and all that fun stuff. It's all about what you want to do, but one stop, one shop.
Yeah, and the last night when I was there, I walked across the street, and there's a bunch of there's the chain restaurants, of course, there's the token Denny's that has to be by a convention center, but there's also a bunch of the Japanese place that I went to wasn't a chain. There's a Greek place that's not a chain restaurant. There's the Pasadena, Burbank, Los Angeles area, and you're only 15, 20. If you do want to rent a car, you're only half an hour away from these amazing museums and beaches and theme parks. And
I'm going to the beach.
It's there's so much to do. Just come, and September in Burbank is going to be amazing. It's going to be nice, warm weather. Come from wherever you are that it's starting to turn to fall, and just have a great little piece of summer and a little piece of Legends.
Yeah.
Well, a big piece of Legends.
Yeah, a big
piece of Legends.
Yeah. 2 days of nothing but Legends nonstop. Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that great, guys? Just think about that.
If you're missing out on the Disney event because it's overseas this year.
Japan, isn't it?
Why not come and celebrate it with us instead?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm flying from Canada, so you better come.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, thanks, Katherine, again for coming on and talking more about this, and bringing this hopefully to everyone's attention and encouraging people. So yeah.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Katherine, and thanks, Kyle, as well. And everyone's take a look at the campaign. Let me know if you just want to spread it around, or if you have any more interest in the fan films and things like that. So great.
Yeah, you can contact us directly at Legends Library.
Yeah.
Or we'll provide the links also to the convention.
Yeah. And
below the video.
Yeah, Katherine, what is the email for everyone to be in touch for the applications as well?
legendsconsortium@gmail.com. It's all over our website.
Yep.
So just Google LegendsCon. You'll find us.
Legends-con.com.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
I gotta run, but
right.
thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thanks so
Bye.
much. That concludes this edition of Legends Library Podcast. To join the discussion, email us at legendslibrarypodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter or Discord at Legends Library. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for informational or entertainment purposes only. Official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights to Disney and respective copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Legends Library Podcast, otherwise indicated. Legends Library. There's always a bit of truth in legends.